today we're sitting with the legendary Buddha P.
Yes.
Buddha P.
Yes.
When you say Buddha P, people might not follow.
Yes.
Udutsile Pantsola.
That's right. That's right. A very great initiative, I might add.
Yeah, it's a very great initiative. So today, I called him up and was like, Buddha P, we would love to sit with you. Just have a word, and I'm podcasting. He was like, I'm game.
Because the last time we were having a conversation, this is how this came about. We were having a conversation and we happened to talk about like crime or like certain crimes that have happened to each one of us or something, and in situations where you can't get a hold of the police and like a lot of things.
Yes.
And then we started talking about your initiative, which is called Wanyadzodzi.
Yes.
And then we thought to ourselves, actually, it would be really great to have you here so that we can actually understand what exactly the initiative is about. Because, I mean, it's easy to hear from other people, but it would be better to hear from the man himself.
And it's a blessing because you guys are inviting us because I'm plural as I'm sitting here. Yes, you are inviting us when on the 26th of this particular month, Wanyadzodzi will be turning 9 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, we come a long way. We come a long way. And the unfortunate part of which nature and God dictates, we've lost some soldiers along the way. But as life would always give, some of us would survive to see another year. Some we might lose along the way. But we keep our heads up. Such is life. The unfortunate and the saddest part of life is that when you are born, it is inevitable that you are going to die.
That is true. That is true.
And the unfortunate part of that is that you don't know when. So you might as well wake up, face the day, make the best of it. Even if it's tough, you just have to go on. And if you find challenges along the way, you have to go through those challenges. You can't double up them. Because that's how you grow. And that's
you can't go over, you can't go under.
Listen, I had a conversation with Buddha P last week for the first time, and then I loved his praying. And then I saw that naturally he's that kind of guy that loves to help. So just a proper introduction.
Yes.
Guys that don't know, because obviously we're not just broadcasting for, it's not only Kimberley people are going to watch this podcast. He goes by the name Pansi Ubusetse.
Yeah,
right?
The name is Teboho Emmanuel. Sing Emmanuel. Emmanuel is something else. Emmanuel Ubusetse. But I'm known as Pansi.
Yeah.
I'm the chairperson of Operation Wanyadzodzi. And in fact, I'm the ancestral chairperson of Operation Wanyadzodzi. Because since inception, I've been the chairperson. And I work for the Department of Education, where I put bread on the table. I work at the Department of Education. I'm a labor law practitioner. I'm a professional labor law practitioner, and I just love making a difference in other people's lives, regardless of who it is. Because sometimes I've realized that we help people by virtue of their stature in society. So I just go with what is in front of me and what God puts in front of me. I go to church, especially when there are funerals. I go to church. On Sundays, I seldom go to church. But one thing, I pray because I strongly believe that God lives within our midst. So that's what carries me. So, yes. But other than that, I know that we are constant moving targets because no one wants and likes to be exposed on social media after a criminal activity. And no one wants for us to confiscate their drugs and all those things. So that's all the long and short part of it. That one is a moving target, but I'm not afraid to die.
Yeah.
That one we must know.
I actually wanted to say, sorry.
Okay.
I actually wanted to say that for the audience, those who are not necessarily from Kimberley, that maybe we should explain exactly what the initiative is about, like what it is that you guys do exactly.
We do everything that the police are afraid to do.
Like,
Meaning that when someone has a problem and tells us that so and so has broken into my house and we know where they've stashed the stolen goods, we don't wait for a search warrant. We go there and respectfully so, and we ask for permission from the owner. And we ask in such a manner that the owner agrees. We don't become romantic of wrong things. When something is wrong,
it's wrong.
yes, and then we approach it in that particular fashion. So we go and we get those things back. And when we patrol, everyone knows that when we stand, we ask you nicely to please allow us to search you. And if we get any dangerous weapon, we take a picture of you with that particular weapon, and then we are going to display your face with that weapon on social media. And when we go to any place where we are told that someone is selling drugs, when we get there, the approach becomes totally different. We don't ask for permission. We tell you why we are there and what is it that we are going to do. You either comply and complain later, but at the end of the day, we are going to do that. You see, the problem with our country is that we strongly believe that when something is written down as law, it becomes the alpha and the omega. And I want people to understand this clearly. I'm not saying that we must be a lawless society or a lawless country. But you can't have someone who has raped hide behind the law and says that his rights and you will tell you that his lawyers and all those things. I don't subscribe to that. Once you engage in brutality of women, you must know and understand that we are going to treat you as a criminal.
That's really amazing. I was about to ask actually if, like, not, it's probably a very strange question, but I wanted to ask if what you do is legal.
Look,
because I don't even know the law is very strange.
Yes. Look, what we do is legal. Legality would have its own interpretation.
Okay.
I would actually agree with what you said.
Someone who is a lawyer would come and have to convince me that what I did was
wrong.
Yes. And then only at that particular point will we be in a position to say that, no, it has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that what you did
something illegal.
Is illegal, yes. Okay. But what we see in front of us, you can't tell me that someone who rapes a woman or kills a woman, whether or not that is legal, and we must wait for a court of law, and that particular person
tell me something.
Evading justice.
Not to interrupt you, now that you even say that, what's your take on this? Because a lot of people know it's a debate most of the time. In South Africa, it seems like criminals have more rights than just someone, a law-abiding citizen. Would you agree with that statement?
I don't.
Why don't you agree with the statement?
I don't agree with the statement because of the statement has not been proven. You see, the problem with us is that we are reactive. That is the only problem with South Africa.
Okay.
Is that we are reactive. Look, if we had every day as we speak, if we had seen 5 or 4 vans passing here and patrolling and making sure that there is no criminal activity that is happening, then you don't have to have such a question. Because the responsibility of the police is to make sure that it safeguards its citizens.
Yeah.
But now, if you are going to say someone else must rape me first and then After then there is a reaction, I must go and open a case, and then that person tells you about their rights. Then we start having a debate that no, criminals have more rights than victims and all those. The problem is that we are reactive.
So is it safe to say, okay, fine, we might be wrong by saying that, but is it safe to say how the justice system reacts to everything, how the justice system treats every case? It seems like as if they consider the criminal or the perpetrator more than the victim.
Sure.
Would you agree with that statement?
It is still wrong. The statement is wrong because it still has not been proven. You know what the problem is with that statement? The problem is that professionals in this country are a big problem.
Okay.
Yes. When someone is arrested for rape, it means that that person, if he has money, has the privilege of getting the best lawyer.
Okay, sure.
And we regard someone the best lawyer who can stand in front of a magistrate and convince the magistrate that you are innocent.
Okay.
Meaning that even if you have raped, if you have the best lawyer, that particular lawyer is going to make sure you get scot-free. Now, who then do you blame? Do you say the magistrate treated this one better than the other one? No, it is because of that person had money and could get the best lawyer. So with us professionals, we should also draw the line because when you are a human being, you must have principles. And I always say to the lawyers, I tell them in their faces, I tell them that one day your child will be raped and I God forbid, I just wish you'll be on the other side of the law so that you must understand that defending something that is cruel to another human being, it's wrong.
Yes, it is.
But even if you say it's a profession, that is what you have studied, that's what put bread on your table. But you must understand when that this world is a wheel, it will turn. And when the wheel turns, it will be unfortunate. We will be sitting on the other side and looking at you. And it will be painful because it will be at your doorstep.
Yeah. But hey, with the lawyer, it's like when they are trained to lie, ne?
Look,
This is a true statement.
they are not liars. Because remember, you can't lie in a court of law. You'll be charged of perjury because you can't lie. What we say, we're saying that you must be smart with the truth. So,
Okay.
you're not lying. Because if lawyers were lying, all of us could have caught them.
Okay.
No, man. Baba,
Oh, so
Umaka.
I think what you're saying is like how
but-
they do that thing of if I'm his lawyer and he did something against you, I'm going to ask you questions that are truthful in a way that makes my client look like they're innocent and as if you've got something
They're
against
truthful,
them.
but they make my client look
Yes.
even though they're not
Yes.
politically correct. So now
there's a process we call cross-examination.
Yes.
When we cross-examine witnesses, we cross-examine them in such a way that they feel as victims, and of which you need to prepare your witnesses thoroughly so that they don't crack under cross-examination.
Okay.
But like I'm saying, our country, we are reactive, we are skewed. Maybe just if you can allow me 2 minutes, I must just illustrate.
please go ahead.
There is this country called Singapore. Singapore, the president, the late, may his soul rest in peace, Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew, within 30 years, in fact, it's 32 years, but within 30 years, Singapore was a slum. South Africa is beautiful. Singapore was a slum. And the reds, the shanty, gangsterism, people were poor. And Lee Kuan Yew decided that as a president, he's going to change the lives of Singapore. Singapore is one of the greatest countries that you'll ever find. And that is someone who has the will to change that particular space. Now, in South Africa, we've got characters when they stand in front of you, they will convince you that you are stupid by virtue of telling you that you are still going to vote for them, even if they mistreat you.
Yes,
They will
yes.
tell you that in your face.
Yes.
And if you don't believe them, they will give you a food parcel to believe them, and then you end up again voting for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
that's-
I'm not specifying a particular
No,
politician.
never,
Sure.
you never mentioned
Yes,
any
yes,
party.
yes,
Sure.
yes. And
Never
in
mentioned any
fact,
party.
it's not a secret. It's an open secret that
Sure.
I'm a member of the ENC in good standing. Yes. So I'm just saying that's South African citizens for you. I can now move from here and convince them that they are the most stupid people and they will believe me. And if they don't believe me, I am going to give them something that is going to convince them to believe them that they are very stupid.
But now, why do you think we're in this situation whereby people are, even though they see something is wrong, but they are willing to be bought with just simple things, food parcels, or just maybe making an event or something of some sort, and then calling people and saying to them, no, I'm going to give you laptops. You know, we call them laptops in Kimberley. These phone plates whereby you can get your takeaway food and whatever. And then people are happy. Though they know that whatever that I'm representing or what I'm doing to service them, I'm not doing it properly as I'm supposed to. As I said I'm supposed to, I was going to do it. Why do we think that we are in the situation where we're so gullible? And we allow ourselves to be so gullible, knowing very well that we are actually voting for something that's never going to change.
I
Why are we?
I deliberately used the word that we are stupid because I wanted to ignite this particular conversation.
Okay.
Look, a smart politician will always put you in a compromised and a desperate position.
Okay.
Yes. Here's a simple example. If I don't give you water,
Yes.
I know how you are going to react. And the day I give you water, you are going to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yes. Remember, water is a basic necessity. Yes. But I can stuff you water for 3 days or 4 days. Basic that you know you deserve basic.
You're supposed to get every
And still I don't give you.
day.
Yes,
Yeah.
and still I don't give you. And the day I give you that water, you celebrate.
Now you become a hero.
And then you praise me.
You become a hero. Whereas you were the first person
Okay.
to deprive me of that. So that's the psychology that we play.
So that is how I answer your question. How you jabula when you get a
food
food
parcel.
parcel or a phone plate
Yeah.
or an event where there are celebrities.
Yeah.
I stuff you of particular things.
Yeah.
So that the day I give you those things, you consider me as a hero.
You did the
Can't
most.
it was something that was supposed to get marked. So we see. Listen, in Kimberley, we see the work that they do as when I told you the operation, right? They have helped us throughout years because we had a time of gangsterisms.
Really
Now,
hectic,
it
eh?
was so ripe,
Yo.
and then they were gruesomely killing our normal citizens, right? And then now you guys stepped in, and you were able to, through your measures, you were able to help diffuse that whole situation. But now we all know that the unfortunate part is that though you guys not being paid by any particular, because of you guys sacrifice your own airtime, your own petrol, your own cars.
Start with life. We sacrifice
Your
our
own
own
Yes, life,
Yes.
yeah.
Because we put our lives on
In
the
danger,
line.
yeah.
Where else we do, we know we have law enforcement people that are supposed to actually be doing this in that manner and in that pace that you do, but they're reluctant because of there's always excuses about not there being enough vans, not there being.
Wait,
you don't even know the phone lines.
I wanted to ask, do you know which number it is that you can call to get a hold of the police?
No, South Africa, I'm telling you again, they're using 10,111 for all of us in this country. Now, South Africa is in such a predicament where I must stuff you of your basic needs.
Damn.
So that when I give you those needs, you see me still as a hero. You see me as someone that you still need.
Yes.
The day I give you those basic. I mean, if now you call a if we are being called by the police, by the way, if the police are calling us if they have problems,
Imagine that.
what are you saying about a normal citizen who is not a police officer, who needs the protection of
the
law enforcement?
Because let me tell you a story, right? I was telling Frank the story about the time where I don't know if it was the time where there was somebody in our yard at home, or if the neighbors were fighting physically, a neighborly couple. So we call the cops, and this lady, okay, 10-111, we tried it. Nothing is happening. There's no sound. It just hangs up.
Yeah.
So we're just like, okay, what could we dial? You know, so there was this number, I can 112 or 122, something like that.
Yes.
So eventually we get a hold of somebody on the phone, and this lady tells us, are we calling from a Vodacom number?
Yes.
And we're like, yes. Then they're like, no, are we calling from a Telkom number? Yes. Well, then we can't help you. We can only assist you to find someone with a Vodacom SIM card. I'm like, what if I'm dying, guys?
But how do you justify that though? Is it normal?
But remember, that's a private line. That's a private line, and that line is used or is catered for by Vodacom. So that's why in an emergency, Vodacom, remember their marketing. So in an emergency, Vodacom has this particular line. But by the way, that should have been the approach of the government of the day. That whenever you call 10-111 or 8600 10-111, you are supposed to get someone.
Exactly, you're supposed to get help.
Yeah. But look, to be honest with you guys, we constantly in this country having conversations, debates about all these things that we are seeing. Come the 29th of May, 2024, when we are going to vote.
Yes.
Come that day.
And then we see.
Come that day.
And then I went. They were recently into. Actually, they did a documentary Al Jazeera, right?
Yes.
It's from London.
Yes.
The
guys are from London.
It's from London. Yes. They recently did a documentary just shadowing them as to how they do their day to day, and then you would see how much risk they put on themselves.
Of course.
You will actually see the people that they find with gruesome weapons.
Yeah, I've seen
people doing drugs, in possession of drugs, in possession of this and just like a lot of illegal stuff.
Sure.
And then you start to wonder that if they are able to do this and achieve that to keep us safe, what are we doing as a community to help
keep
them
safe? Oh yeah, to keep them going. Because there was a thing where I'd heard that there were community members that were complaining that Wanyatsotsi is an initiative, like so I was like, well, maybe they do, but what did your child do? Because I don't think they would just go out of their way to just.
No, by the way, I've been for 9 years. I've been the chairperson of Wanyatsotsi. I've never seen Wanyatsotsi shapa moto. We just bless them. Remember, shapa moto, it means now you literally fighting the person because the outcome should be only to hurt them. That should be the only outcome. But we bless them in such a way that they must understand that what they are doing, hurting others, it is
wrong.
And we are not going to allow them. So we nicely bless them. We do it in such a manner that whoever we are doing it to must understand that when they get home or when they get to their friends, wherever they get, they must think deep about what has happened to them, so that they must never repeat that again.
Sure.
Now, what about the moment that she mentions the parents that actually will go out of their way to discredit you guys?
Yes.
Because of you doing this thing, because of now it's my son or it's my daughter or whatever, right? And now me as a father or she as a mother discredit you guys. Why? Like, how does it make you guys feel to see that? I know that my son is doing these gruesome things. I know that my son is going out at night, hurting other people, killing other people.
Because honestly, a lot of mothers do that.
And then now you stepping in to correct these type of matters. And then now, because of now, I feel like it's my son. So I do, like, how do I begin to feel like you are wrong, my son is right to hurt another person?
No, look,
Or to do that and come steal from my house and then now I'll care to you again.
Exactly.
And remember, I like me personally now. Look, I was, like I said before, I was arrested since beginning of Wanyatsotsi. I was arrested 11 times. And at first I was angry. I was bitter. How these parents were treating us. But you quickly, maturity will always overcome. You quickly realize that if you remain being angry and bitter, it is not going to assist you. So what I then advised my team to do, I said to them, you see guys, if we are going to become angry and bitter, it is only going to affect us, because the person who has opened a case against me, that person is elsewhere. Thanks. That person is elsewhere. He's sitting with the family. They are sleeping now. You are constantly bitter. And I said to them, it is in the nature of every parent to protect their offspring.
Of course.
And you can't, when someone is angry that you have blessed their child, then you also become angry when they open a case against you. In fact, you must appreciate that there are parents who still
Love their children.
And then that kept us going and kept us going. And now we get even used to that, to a reaction of a parent who would say to you, if my child did something in the street, why didn't you come to me? And then I said, no, mommy, I did not know who the parents are, but now that I'm in front of you, how can we then resolve this?
Yeah, sure.
So basically,
they will tell you that, no, you have already blessed my child. And then I say, you must be very much happy and appreciative that I've blessed your child. Your child is still alive, because someone else might have killed them. Yes. Someone else might have killed them.
I get you, and then I understand it's a coping mechanism for you guys, and then kudos for you to. It's always nice to, instead of concentrating on the negative, look at the positive of something, because that's how I believe you will be able to push on in this life thing. But now, don't you think it's a bit unfair that I understand I it's my child, I'm going to have that, but now don't you think that it's unfair that my son is hurting other people, right? And then tomorrow, because of I watched the documentary. That's two things that I noted that you guys did, like that you went out of your way for. There was a mother that called you because of the child was hitting her. Yes. She was ecstatic. She was emotional, crying, and then now you guys had to intervene and then talk to the son for the son to make peace, hug the mother, never to do that again.
Sure.
So do you understand that today I might be the one now fighting you guys and being protective of my son,
but then be the one eating you tomorrow.
But now tomorrow, the same me. Now I have to call you because of now I let my son to do all these things. I allowed him. It was fine if he was doing them to other people, but now then he starts to do them to me.
I get it. That's what he was saying. The wheel keeps turning.
But now, is it fair though?
No, it's definitely not fair.
Don't you think that we as human beings we're supposed to try to shift our mentality a bit?
You can think that, but it's difficult to explain to people who are like focused on one specific thing to broaden their concept of like the world. It's difficult.
Let's take it home now. Let's take it home. Why do you need police? We should be living together in peace, in harmony.
Sure.
We should be embracing each other. We feed from umbilical cords that are the same. We thrive for positivity. Why do we need police? It is because of there is negativity.
Of course.
And once you remove negativity totally, let's say there is no crime, there is no criminals, it would mean now you won't have the police, you won't have the courts, because there's no crime.
Yeah.
We won't have this interview. Yes.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
So it's not in the best interest of...
We'd hardly have a podcast, though.
I
hardly have a podcast.
I wouldn't even be here. But now, it is very important to realize that in your developed countries, Germany, for example, in Germany, the police there, they don't do what we are doing. Police station here, police station there, because of there, everyone understands that you have to behave in a particular manner. Yes. And we know also, all of us, we know we have to behave in a particular, but we choose to behave contrary to that manner. But it's a choice.
Is it not because of maybe our laws are too relaxed? What do you think?
No, it is many elements, because let me tell you, South Africa, how imbalanced it is. And that led us to the... If you go and steal my car, and you go and steal bread,
okay,
both of you are thieves.
Sure. Definitely.
Are you equal thieves? Yes. The law of South Africa does not say one thief is a smaller nyana thief or is a better thief to the other thief.
Yeah.
The law of South Africa says that stealing is wrong.
Yes.
So we when you go to court and there are mitigating and aggravating factors, then the lawyer would say, no, but it was bread and I was hungry. Your circumstances. Always when we preach, we say that your circumstances should never be an excuse to do something that is wrong. Meaning that when you are horny, it does not give you the right to go and rape.
Go and rape, yeah.
Yes. So your circumstances does not. So what then is the problem, and how then can we address
Oh, damn. I just thought of that in a completely different way than I have before.
Now, it means that the government of the day must make sure that everyone has bread. But if the government of the day makes sure everyone has bread, everyone will not vote for them.
Yeah.
So you need to have them being hungry so that they must depend on you for the 350, for grants. Once they depend on you and you tell them that if you don't vote for me, I'm going to take these things away from you, they are going to vote for you because they need those things.
Of course.
Exactly. So we are creating, we are co-authors of our own misfortune.
Sure. Sure. Fire.
So basically what I'm taking from that is that the first fact that there's governance needed is a problem.
No, you need the leadership. You need people who have the political will to do right and to do just to our people.
Okay.
When I stand in front of you and I present, it's unfortunate that you are not deep into politics. I can tell you now, the organizations that I've observed and read their manifestos, all of them, they repeatedly tell you the same thing. It's only that they know that you are so stupid. Within 5 years, you would have forgotten what they said.
Yeah.
Yes. And they would tell you the same thing. And you see that thing as a miracle. You know, one professor once said, Professor Lumumba, he said, the leadership or the misleaders of the day, they would stand in front of you and say to you, I can turn water into ice. And then you go, wow, is it possible? And then they take the water, put it in the freezer, and it's ice.
And it's ice.
And then you think, damn, this is a miracle.
Yeah.
Because of the person who's standing in front of you
was able to convince you that it's a miracle.
Tells you with conviction. Yes, I can turn water into ice, and you see that as something that is extraordinary. And they tell you that after 5 years.
Same thing. And you never realize that, but this guy actually uses the fish to make this turn this. So I can also turn this water into ice.
We have regressed as a country.
Sure.
Look where we come from.
Definitely.
And look where we are. We have regressed. And it is not solely on the ground. it would be totally unfair.
Sure.
It is mostly because of the government of the day, but we must also, as citizens, take responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
If we are going to vandalize a rag,
Yes.
or RC Elliott, if you are going to vandalize something that you need when there are funerals, when there are weddings, when the young ones needs to dance.
Yeah, or programs.
If you vandalize that and then you blame that on government, then you are skewed and unfair. You see. And it is also misguided if you're going to blame the government of the day. And a smart person who's much more clever than the three of us will tell you that you need security at that particular place so that it must not be vandalized.
Yeah.
Of course.
That particular person is smarter than the three of us. But what we don't realize is it is inherent in us to take care of what belongs to us.
Yes.
True that. True that.
Yes.
You know the benefit. You go to ABC graveyard.
Sure.
The entire fencing has been stolen.
It has
But
been
you know
stolen.
that tomorrow you're gonna bury your loved one there.
Yes.
The place is not taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where you're gonna, and then you know, we as Africans, we believe it's supposed to be sacred when we bury our people. Right?
But tell me, just tell me, why would you need a fence at a graveyard? For what? I wonder the rationale.
I don't know.
I assume that it's because of the society that we live in, where criminals would want to break headstones for some stranger's reason.
Okay. Now let me please enlighten. Please educate me. It seems like I'm very slow. You saying to me the reason why you are fencing the gravesite, it is because of criminals might go there and destroy. But you're not closing the gate at night.
That's the thing. That's the thing that doesn't make sense.
Don't tell me that's the thing. I want you guys to educate me.
I can't.
The whole fencing of the graveyard thing. I don't know. I don't know. Why would they do that?
I was assuming.
But at the same time, considering where society is, I would understand. But now, how they go about it or how they went about it, I think it was still a matter of there's no difference.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I remember there was once a gruesome murder that when I was going to school, going to St. Boniface, and then when I went past the grave, I went through
the surname of the lady is Vapan.
The one that the stomach got taken
out.
Yes. And
when taken out.
Yeah. I was schooling at St. Boniface.
But now are you saying the fencing is for that?
I don't know. I don't know who put the fence there.
Okay. Maybe I'm very stupid or very slow.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you put a bucket with a hole in a tap and you're trying to fill it, what is the logic? Why would you put in a fence and still leave the gates
open? Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't understand. Do you want me to give you my honest opinion? You wanted to chow the money.
I'm saying that if you say that you are going to secure that particular place,
you need to close the gates also.
You must lock the gates.
Yes.
You must put in security so that place.
Definitely.
But another person who's clever than the three of us is gonna ask you, are you saying you are going to look after the dead and you leave people who are alive and well and you don't protect?
Oh my gosh, it's so complex. This is making me dizzy.
Is it making you dizzy?
It's so
relevant.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I guess.
I'm not safe. I'm alive. Someone is dead.
And you're protecting them.
Again, now you decide to put the fence. So
this is wild. It's definitely wild.
Listen, the whole thing is messed up, I believe. Right? Just starting from us, the living, and how the people that are supposed to protect us are not doing the job.
Sure.
Our securities, which is not the police, right? They're not doing the jobs. And then now we know that sometimes there are such things as tenders, and then some people do stupid things just to eat money. Sorry, not mentioning any names or governments or parties. But I'm saying it's a reality that we're living in. So someone probably wanted to eat money, and then they decided, let's put fence. In the
Sure, okay.
to
Yeah,
fence
they
the
came
yard.
up with that idea.
But now, because of now, you decided to do that. Then follow through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of the thing that you put there.
Sure.
You see, logic dictates to me that that's not logic. If you say to me, Pansy, go and put devil's frog at the graveside. You've gotten a tender and you must give me something. Put in the devil's frog and I give you something. Fast forward, I'm going to steal that devil's frog.
Because I gave you something.
Yes.
I want that money back.
Yes. And I know nothing is going to happen to me.
Exactly.
You see? But the only time I've always preached this, and that is why the approach in Operation Wanyatsotsi, that is why when you mention Wanyatsotsi, someone else will shiver, unlike when you say you're going to call the police.
Sure,
Yeah, no, that's true.
sure.
And if you followed even in that documentary, you will realize I'm always preaching that the only time human beings change their behavior, it is when there's a threat of pain.
Yeah. You mentioned it a couple of times within the documentary.
You know, now, if someone decides that they want to come in here and take all this equipment, whether at gunpoint or at knife point, there's nothing that you can do. You're going to make noise. Police. But the same question arises. Are you saying anyone will come in here when I'm sitting here and take this equipment? Now, remember, we haven't tested this, but the confidence that you are displaying, it says a lot that everyone or anyone who's out there understands that you do not commit any criminal activity in the presence of Operation Wanyatsotsi.
Of course.
So that in itself teaches us great lessons. That is how the police are supposed to be seen. I know there are policemen and women in this country, so I am not supposed to do
A, B, C, D, and D.
That's why I said that you guys go the extra mile, and for the fact that you're not being given and you're not being paid, like people that are actually being paid a certain day a certain date every month, they're not having that type of impact. And it's sad. For me, it's sad.
It's wild.
That people that are receiving salaries each and every single month on a certain date
now
don't have impact that people that volunteer.
People who decided to wake up and do this.
Let's get there. My sister is a police officer. My mom is staying in Bloom. She's still alive. And my mom always says that I'm a bit brutal towards my sister. What are the requirements to become a police officer?
I don't know.
Simple. You need to have tried everything out there which did not succeed.
Wild.
And then opt to become a police officer.
Wild.
You just need your medical certificate.
Wild.
And then you're gone.
Now, if I'm trying to be an educator and I'm having financial struggles, to be an educator, you must have a PGCE. And if you're trying to become whatever in life and it does not work out, and you are sitting alone and I think license. Now they don't want a license. All that they need is for you to have a matric certificate that is written passed. So it means when you have passed, you qualify to become a police officer.
Yes.
Leave everything. These people, they go to Bishop, in the Eastern Cape, they get intense training. Their training is intense.
Yeah.
I just admire their training. After that training, they come back. And once they are in that uniform, it is only then they realize that I need to put bread on the table. Not passion, not fight crime,
Sure.
no. When they come and they are in uniform, they say, hey, I need to put bread on the table. It means I have an obligation of waking up every day, going to work and come back. They go to work and they are with all the police, men and women in South Africa, they are working.
Yeah.
All of them. They are working. They wake up in the morning, they go to work, they come back. All of them. Now, here's the trick. When you are at work and a drug lord offers you money that you don't have, and you refuse, you go home and you look at your television and you realize that in one municipality there was wasteful and fruitless expenditure of 1 million rand and no one was held accountable. You are a police officer.
Sure.
You're looking at the news. And tomorrow, you wake up, you read the newspaper, you say, no, at this particular department, people stole money and no one is arrested. That triggers you as a human being, as a law enforcement officer. If this one is not arrested, I can take my chances.
Sure.
Once you have tasted it, it's like a drug.
Of course.
Once you have tasted it,
Amen.
You invite others to taste it.
Yeah.
And then you have got a bunch of police officers who are corrupt.
Because you don't want to be alone in this.
Of course.
To protect yourself, or nobody's going to pimper on you. You need your company.
So the
Frank, let me tell you how.
The problem started with the leaders of the day. Had your leaders been accountable and being held accountable for the misappropriation of funds, you would not have, because you are there, you are a role model. You are there, you are leading society. Society sees you as a thief who is not arrested,
Sure,
who is not accounting to anyone.
Roaming around with the big cars, enjoying life,
having the time of your life.
My man,
my man. But
you
whereas we
there is a Zondo Commission. Many people are implicated in Zondo Commission. In fact, as we speak, some of them are in the list of these political parties in order for them to go back to parliament and repeat the same thing.
Yes.
It's a cycle.
I would just like to ask a question, right?
Okay.
What is it that inspires you personally as the chairperson of Vanya Tsotsi, as Lepanzula, to get up each and every single day and help fight for our communities, basically?
And that's a very good question. Look, I'm inspired by where I come from. I don't come from a well-off family. I come from an ordinary family where my parents went out of their way and took good care of us. And with that, my parents instilled an element of discipline that we must always help others. So at my house, when we have food, we would always bring other people. Many people grew up knowing my parents. And that in itself showed me that whilst you are warm, whilst you are eating, there are so many empty stomachs out there.
Of course.
You realize that eating too much is becomes a sin, unlike sharing with others who do not have. And whenever you go out and a fight would ensue, those people will always have your back. It is almost automatic. When someone has to fight, you must go through them.
Of course.
And I realized that when you help people, people will forever help you and have your back.
Of course.
But human beings develop as they become clever and smarter. They leave you behind and they become better people in society, and they must treat you again.
Yeah, sure.
And my inspiration when it comes to that comes from the very same parents. My mother, I used to see my parents being involved in domestic violence.
Okay.
And my mother would always forgive my father. And I said to her, it can't be, does not even make sense. As you grow up, you realize that the umbilical cord that you have fed from, it is a cloud that will always be there with you, even if you try to become a cruel person. That umbilical cord will find a way of changing your attitude and putting you in an upright position the way you were raised. Many people have done things to me and cruel things. Many people are continuously betraying me, but I always find a way to forgive them and become very close to them. And my siblings don't want that because they say to me, but you are always telling us this has happened and we become angry on these people. Tomorrow, we know about Puisa. And I say to them, I don't want you to inherit my beef with any other person, because tomorrow the nature of my being will not allow me to become angry for a long time towards these people. So that is what inspires me to say that I know that I might help you today. Tomorrow, knowingly or unknowingly, you might help my offspring. You might help me.
Sure.
But that rubs off because helping is contagious.
Yes.
That rubs off.
Yes.
You might help someone else. And that particular person that I don't know, that I did not help, that you help because I help you, might help my family or myself.
Fire.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. I love
It's
that.
really amazing.
Wisdom.
I would like
I
to
said,
thank
the
you
wisdom.
though. I'd like to thank you for the things that you do for like our streets being a lot safer. Hey? Because personally, as a woman, I'm extremely paranoid. Like walking from
Heaven knows she's
here
paranoid.
to there, I'm just like, guys, why do I have to walk there? Like, what if something happens to me? Because crime is so rife in our society. So I'm just like, just walking from here to there. What if somebody grabs me or anything happens? Or multiple things that have happened to me in my life have gotten me to the point of that paranoia, you know? So it's nice to know that out there are people. I remember when my grandmother was suffering from dementia, she walked out of the house about 4 o'clock in the morning and we didn't even hear her. She walked out at like 4 a.m. randomly. She took her handbag. She's still in her gown. I guess she's demented in that moment. And no, she walks out of the street. When by the time I wake up, because I heard a commotion, there's a guy walking her back into the house. So I'm like walking back, like, would you just leave my grandmother there and get out? Because I don't know what's going on. So he's trying to explain to me that, no, listen, I brought your grandmother. I found her outside. And I was like, wow, what a dope guy. Because if it was somebody else, they could have taken her bag from her. They could have raped her. They could have, anything could have happened. Do you get what I'm saying? So I was really grateful to that guy. But Wabana, the way society is set up, even my reaction towards that guy was first, please just leave her right there, drop her bag right there, and get out. I'll bring her to the house myself.
Here's a question. Here's a question, and it's a fair question.
Okay.
Which the three of us must maybe answer. What is it that is going to take for us to live in peace without fear?
That's why. Thank you for even asking that question, because if I wanted to in closing, to wrap everything up, but to ask something similar, not in that type of manner. And then me, I don't know. I would say, because I always preach it on most of our episodes.
Sure.
It starts with you dealing with your mental issues. Sit down, face your demons, look at yourself.
Assess yourself.
What
Yeah.
drives me to do all these things? What drives me to be a killer? What drives me to be a rapist? What drives me to steal all this? What drives me? What motivates me? Deal with your things, and then maybe, I don't know, if you are able to face your demons, talk to yourself, and then decide that I'm no longer going to be that type of person for the better. Because if change starts with me again, maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to go to find ourselves that we're living in a better society. And then my question to Buddha P was even, he mentioned Germany and how people, I think you said Germany, and how people, there are police, but the civilian,
Yes, they know how to
they know how
behave
to behave,
themselves.
what's
Yes,
expected of them.
Sure.
So what I wanted to ask Buddha P is that, do you think there will ever be a time in South Africa, given how even you explained everything, that the thing starts from the top, and then what those whole system benefits to them to stay in power, like the whole mental explanation that you gave out, or it's a mental manipulation that goes on, and what propels even the policemen to go to do their job and then come back to home. Will we ever find ourselves to be in a position whereby we are living like Germany, whereby us as normal citizens, we know what is expected of us? Thus, living in a crime will never really, because of, we have people, but in a more harmonious type. Do you think that will ever happen?
In a more comfortable.
No, but now it's a thinking, because the question is, do I think? Yes, I think so. I think that will one day happen. You see, I even made an example of Singapore, what Lee Kuan Yew did. It's about political will. That's why in 30 years, that is the best, one of the best countries in the world. We need political will. But I always say to people, but I hear you say the mind and what, but someone who's a killer would tell you that when I was born, I was raped. My mother, I'm from a child of someone who raped my mother when I was conceived. And, the other one will tell you when I grew up, the uncle was doing 1, 2, 3. So I became what I am because of how I was treated. The situation at home, we are poor and all this. On Saturday, I was invited at Prescott High School to motivate the matriculants. And I want to tell you about the nature of people, or the nature of things. I made an example to them. I said, look, there's a story, fast forward, of a man where a building was burning, and then there was a snake that was trying to escape, and then this guy took a stick and tried to help the snake. The snake bit the guy and then left the snake, and after biting the guy, and then the guy tried to take a longer stick and then saved the snake, and the snake went out of the fire. And then people were just astonished by what has happened to them. But my man, why would you do that? I mean, you are trying to help the snake,
but you still continue to try to help it.
And the guy replied to say, it is in my nature to help living beings, regardless of what it is, regardless how the person or the thing that I'm trying to help, regardless how it treats me, but it is in my nature to just help living beings. And then I said to them, I'm flipping the script where the very same snake was trying to cross the road, and then with the baboon, they were in the middle of the road and trying to cross, and the snake is about slower, and then says to the baboon, "Oh, my man, why don't you just put me on your back so that we cross fast and we get there fast, because the cars are gonna hit me." And then the baboon said, "No, I know your nature as
Yeah.
a snake. Yes. I know you. I know
Bye,
you.
bye,
It's your
bye.
nature.
Yes, yes. I know you.
It's not your fault.
and
It's
yes,
just who you
yes,
are.
and I will not be able to help you. And then the snake says, my man, I mean, I'm asking you nicely. Please, please, please. Fast forward, baboon puts the snake on the bag. Choom, they cross, get there safely. 2 seconds thereafter, the snake bites the baboon. And then the baboon says, but my brother, we just spoke 2 seconds ago. We just spoke and you promised me. And then the snake says, to be fair with you, I had good intentions.
Sure.
It is just in my nature to bite.
Sure.
Now, it means that regardless of what the three of us or the four of us are trying to achieve by doing what we are doing, there are just people out there. There are just things out there that naturally they subscribe to wrong things.
Yes.
It's within their
Yes.
In their nature.
nature
Amen.
propels them to do that.
And it is upon us to see to it how then do we handle those particular people.
Sure.
Even if they hurt us, we must find a way how best do we handle them. Because once they hurt us and we hurt them back, we are going to continuously have a society.
A vicious cycle.
Once a police officer sees that the municipal manager, the mayor, and the president and the MECs are stealing and is also going to steal, then we are not going to have a country that we envisage.
Okay.
But once some of us whom we know naturally stealing is wrong, and those thieves that are standing in front of us and speaking so good, once we are able to handle them to the ballot box and deal with them, we will be in a better
Fire.
The wisdom from this guy.
Fire. It's
too
really,
much.
it's a lot. It's
too much.
amazing. It's so much fun to have conversations with people that can provide you with some form of wisdom or can make you think about things from a different perspective.
I love how you approach things. It's I don't know, you have a gift of how you look at life. Your way of looking life is a gift. Because of now how you approach, you answered my question.
Yes.
Very beautifully. In a way that I never ever thought
and gave you extra information while you was at it.
Yeah, that's what I love about you.
But that's what I love about this conversation. At least it opens you to present what you feel and how you see things.
Yes.
Sometimes it's not only even about the wisdom, it's also about the people you are talking to who are opening you up to express yourself in a way that at least it will help those who are going to listen and those who are going to take this and use it meaningfully.
Fire. So in closing, the last question that I would love to ask you. We spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the police, and you gave us now great advice. You actually gave us your thoughts of how we can start to go to Germany, right? So the atmosphere of Germany. But us as a community, what can we do? What would you like us to do? Maybe, you don't know, maybe someone is going to listen and it's going to touch his or her heart. What would you like us to do to assist the operation? Because it's our operation. This one. It's our operation. It's for us. You guys are steering it, but you are steering it for us. Not
What
for
can
anyone.
we do? We the people.
We the people. What can we do as a community to assist?
Yes, and that's a great question because constantly people are asking me this question, but I think when they are asking it, it's just to test me because every time I answer it, nothing happens. Look, we need 5 buggies vehicles, and we need petrol cards. That's the short part of it.
Sure.
Yes, but how do we get those? You see, people always say organizations are destroyed by money or money destroys organizations. Our society, tjhelete ya thuba, ho na le eng tjhelete ya thuba.
Sure.
The problem is not money. Money cannot talk.
It's the people.
The people who are using the money. Now, I said it even today to one lady. I said, you guys as society, as communities, you guys must get together and try and have a way to raise funds and do it and control those funds. Because once you start having those things being run by us and all those things, we are going to fight amongst each other. We are going to destroy each other. And it would be because of you guys gave us too much to chew whilst we were hungry.
Yes.
You see, a hungry stomach.
Yes.
When someone is hungry, you don't give them too much to eat. You just give them bit by bit.
Just a
Because,
piece,
yes, because once you give them too much, they become bloated and they end up wasting.
Yeah.
So you just give them kancane so that they must survive. So the challenge is no one wants to take the initiative and stand up and say, these people are helping us. All of us wants the best for these people, but none of us is standing up and saying, this is how we are going to do it. When a living example, in 2018, there was a problem with electricity and all those things. And I said to these people, they said, no, we've been talking and having meetings with the municipal. I said to them, I'm not someone who's going to talk a lot cheap. If these people are not going to do what we are saying as a community must do, then I am going to make sure that they are removed.
Yes.
I told them, I told them. And I had meetings with them and I explained them, and respectfully so. But they took it for granted that because we've been engaging with the same people, it's only this new one who thinks he knows better.
He knows better.
He wants to come with a different approach. I said to them, in a meeting in council, I said to them, if you are going to take the community for granted, I can tell you now for free that I'm going to remove you. Fast forward, they did not believe me. 2018, we orchestrated a shutdown as a community member, not as Wanyatsotsi. Wanyatsotsi was just but Wanyatsotsi was just but marshals in that particular space. In fact, we marched the first time.
That was the biggest shutdown that I've ever experienced.
Exactly. And you'll never find another one until I'm pushed again to that particular point.
Fire.
And when I say I'm pushed, it is because as an individual, when I meet with a collective that is willing to negotiate and not take action, I just try and influence that collective to say, you can only speak to a certain point. That is why there's no service delivery, because people will tell you they can do what. But because of there is no conviction in what you are saying, you will never deliver the service. So I said to them, Excel, not so fair part. But if these people are not going to listen to us, unfortunately, they don't deserve to be in that particular.
Of course.
Let's take it to the streets.
Of course.
So, in essence, what I'm pleading with the community is that the community must help us in order to help. That is all.
That is. Thank you so much,
Mr. Ubusitse.
Yes.
I appreciate you taking time. Listen, I know you are a busy person. Number one, you just knocked off from work and you wanted to even.
I'm not just busy.
And he hasn't eaten all day.
I'm not just busy. I'm also hungry.
Yes. The first thing that he was ordered is and he took his time, and then he was not even in Kimberley, he came rushing.
Exactly.
So it was like, my brother, I just came in Kimberley, but I promise you, I'm just going to drop off the vehicle from work and I'm coming to you.
I think it's those simple things that show what an amazing human being you are in general.
But he did it.
Exactly.
Anyway. And then we had a lovely conversation. I enjoyed.
I loved every minute.
I think we're going to have to invite you more often if you're willing to.
And even different conversations.
I'm not just willing, I'm even ready.
Okay.
You can invite me after 2 hours.
Even on random conversations.
I picked up a lot. And you opened my mind to a lot. You made me think. Look at life differently. You make it look at different type of things differently. I believe Musa feels the same.
Also,
way.
You can ask him. It takes a lot for me to actually keep quiet.
And
For the mere fact that I was quiet and focused and listening, I feel like I know everything.
Yeah.
But you showed me that, certain things I might know. Like I said, you make me think in a different light.
Yeah.
Like, okay, wow.
I hope our community will also
Yeah.
see what we spoke about well. and then actually start to open them up to be able to change. Let's change our country. Let's change Kimberley. Kimberley is a diamond city.
I
So we
hope
need to-
also in other places people can start initiatives like the one that you've started, you know. But also it really doesn't take a lot. Like, you get up and do it, you know, because sometimes we overthink things. You get what I'm saying?
And also passion.
Yeah.
Granted, he has passion, and I believe passion supersedes everything. That's what I believe. Because you face hardships. I believe in your podcast, even you spoke about how it affected your marriage. Even
Oh,
it was something,
okay.
it affected his marriage. So it was something that he had to take up because of the love that he has for his community.
Wow.
So you need to wake up.
I'm very proud
I need
of
to
you.
wake up and then do my part for the community. Do my part to assist Vanya Tsotsi and every forum that is there. I believe in that.
But before you close, can you guys do me a favor and just hold the camera there, and just you know sometimes simple things they assist, and just turn the camera to the guy who's been helping us. Because sometimes people see us, but they don't understand that we are a reflection of a mirror, and there's the mirror there. You see. So you must also be just to thank him. But I want to thank him whilst he's on camera or in the picture. Yes, he can just come.
My personal presence.
He can just come. Yeah, I give you my brother because Coach Evidente. Okay, no. I would like to thank the three of you very much, and I would like to start with the mirror itself. That the reflection that you see or the pictures that you see, it is because of this particular mirror. We are reflecting because of him, and thank you very much, my brother.
We love you, peasant. We love you, peasant.
And then to the hosts, look, you guys are on the right track. It starts simple. It starts where your memory will always trigger you and says, remember where we started. Remember how we started. So one day when you are big, and to be big, you need to be in a little place, because when you are with Josie, there are many people who are involved in it. But when you are here, you are in a space of your own. Anyone who would come after you would have to come and compete with experience.
Of course.
And would have to realize that you guys are so passionate that you're starting this not only because you are pushed by money, but because of you realize that society needs to be educated and needs to understand things differently. That's why you invite different people. And for that, I can tell you now, you are going to go places. We are taller on our knees. I will put you in my prayers.
Thank you.
Look, God is just a prayer away from us, and sometimes whether or not you believe in God, but the miracles that you see, it is because of a particular spirit, and I can feel that spirit amongst us.
Thank you. Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Thank you for having.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then, guys, on that note, this is our episode for today.
And don't forget,
guys.
self-care is self-love.
Peace.
Bye.